Hi, welcome to my channel, A Spark Within. I wanted to share some exciting news. And no, it's not this new background. This is just temporary. I usually record upstairs in my bedroom, but today my family are out, so I took the opportunity and came downstairs to record in our living room. But the good news that I had was that I had made a promise to myself that I would post 4 videos over 6 weeks, and I accomplished that last week. And why is that huge? It's a signal to me that I am committed to doing this, and I'm in it for the long haul. And I set myself this goal, and it meant that I have showed up and I have been consistent, and that is a huge positive reinforcement that I needed and boost. It took me 2 years to finally get this channel up and running. For a very long time, I've been consuming, but I wanted to create. I wanted to give. I was doing that already in my professional setting by being a coach, a mentor, a guide, whether it's formally or informally. But I just had this burning desire that I wanted to do more and just share relatable stories of an average person who is navigating life, who has flaws, but trying to figure out how to have a deep and meaningful life. And if I can just inspire one person, I feel my mission is accomplished. And what pushed me to do this channel, it was a quote by Teddy Roosevelt, which I will share with you today. I've got it written down here because it's fairly long. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So this year I stepped into the arena, and the journey so far has taught me so much, and I'm seeing so many positive benefits in my own professional setting and personal setting. The first, I would say, benefit that I have gained is I'm just truly pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Whilst I thought that I usually did push myself out of my comfort zone because I've put my hand up for a promotion or have volunteered to do something quite different, whether it's to learn a new skill, this is on another level. Why? Because I am bearing my soul, my ego, for everyone to see, to comment, to judge. And that is scary as hell. And it's really pushing me out of my comfort zone on a week-on-week basis. But I'm feeling freer, and I can feel the spark within me getting brighter. But I'm also noticing, even within work, I feel a lot more confident. I am ready to take more risks. I've got this extra bounce. The other things that I've learned upon reflection is video production, composition, editing. That is another skill in itself, and I am hopefully improving week on week. Voice modulation. And I love that this. I read a lot and listen to a lot of podcasts on how to be an effective speaker because I want to try and implement it with my work. And whilst I'm doing this, it has completely honed it. Do I use high pitch? Do I go low? Do I slow my pace? Do I quicken my pace? And that again, I'm being more conscious of even within my own work setting. And I'm finding that when I am delivering a presentation, it's becoming engaging as a result of this. The art of storytelling. Now, this is a muscle that has to be exercised through practice and practice. I'm a legal professional by background, and I thought this would come naturally, but boy, I was wrong. It is something that you just need to keep doing and editing and trying different ways, seeing what works. And it's only through practice it will only get better. Being consistent, so doing these 4 videos, and I think in total I may have done 7 over the past couple of months. It's a fantastic creative outlet for me, which is completely unrelated to my job, and this is something completely different. It is doing something that is in line with my values and my purpose. And I feel that is my biggest why. The other one is how to be more engaging. And this has a knock-on impact with my professional setting and my social setting. And that's just within 6 weeks. It made me realize and truly experience perfection is not necessary. I waited 2 years because I was waiting for the perfect setting, the perfect equipment. I don't even have a mic, nor do I have the perfect setting. But these are things that were holding me back, and I'm sure there are things that are holding people back because they're just waiting for that perfect setting. It's just about starting and becoming better in that process. That's how we learn. I wanted to share something that I had read. It's Paulo Coelho's updated foreword in The Alchemist. The 25th edition came out in April, and I have read The Alchemist a number of times now over the years. I have it in my Kindle, so I had to print out the foreword from the recent edition. And what he says in this really resonates. So I will share this with you and see what you can take from it. When The Alchemist was first published 25 years ago in my native Brazil, no one noticed. A bookseller in the northeast corner of the country told me that only one person purchased a copy the first week of its release. It took another 6 months for the bookseller to unload a second copy, and that was to the same person who bought the first. And who knows how long it took to sell the third. By the end of the year, it was clear to everyone that The Alchemist wasn't working. My original publisher decided to cut me loose and cancelled our contract. They wiped their hands off the project and let me take the book with me. I was 41 and desperate, but I never lost faith in the book or ever wavered in my vision. Why? Because it was me in there. All of me, heart and soul. I was living my own metaphor. A man sets out on a journey, dreaming of a beautiful or magical place in pursuit of some unknown treasure. At the end of his journey, the man realizes the treasure was with him the entire time. I was following my personal legend, and my treasure was my capacity to write. And I wanted to share this treasure with the world. As I wrote in The Alchemist, when you want something, the whole universe conspires to help you. I started knocking on the doors of other publishers. One opened, and the publisher on the other side believed in me and my book and agreed to give The Alchemist a second chance. Slowly, through word of mouth, it finally started to sell. 3,000, then 6,000, 10,000, book by book, gradually throughout the year. 8 months later, an American visiting Brazil picked up a copy of The Alchemist in a local bookstore. He wanted to translate the book and help me find a publisher in the United States. HarperCollins agreed to bring it to an American audience, publishing it with great fanfare. We then know what happens. But then he ends with, "People continue to ask me if I knew The Alchemist would be such a huge success. The answer is no. I had no idea. How could I? When I sat down to write The Alchemist, all I knew is that I wanted to write about my soul. I wanted to write about my quest to find my treasure. I wanted to follow the omens because I knew even then that the omens are the language of God." And this really resonates with me because I don't know what the outcome is of this channel, where this will go, but the personal growth that I'm getting, and that only after 6 weeks, is immense. So I can only imagine where my personal journey will be after a year. And if along this process I'm helping others and inspiring others, I feel my job is done. So before I end here, my question to you is, are you going to step down into the arena and find the treasure? Because remember, we all have a spark within us.